We're here with head coach Jeff Knarr of the Kings College football team for his coaches show every Thursday at 11 a.m. And today we're actually joined by Eric Schultz of the Assistant's Voice, and appreciate you being here. But Coach, before we get to Eric, I just wanted you to look back at last week's game at Widener. Just a couple turnovers there late. That kind of were the difference. Just your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, I mean, our kids played hard, and when you play, a team that's evenly, matched from there, it's who makes the fewest, mistakes. And the first half, the big mistake was, the kick return. We fumbled. They caused the fumble. And they get the ball at the 20. And then that offense, which is high octane, very prolific offense, you only have to go 20 yards. You're putting yourself in a bad spot. So they extend the lead there. But I thought our kids, did a good job. One thing we talked about is kind of start fast offensively. We went on a huge drive. Do we want to do the score on our first drive? And then we had to get back in the game right away. Took the ball in the second half, went down and scored. From that deal. And then, I felt, football is a game of momentum, swings, and how the momentum had swung in our favor with the block punt and the score. Now it's 27-21. We get to stop and we're driving, and unfortunately we get a miscue in the backfield and a fumble, and then Widener is able to then take advantage of that. So kind of field position was a big deal. Like they had better field position than we did, and then those you can't lose the turnover battle when you're playing a good team like that. Then so that puts them in position to easier to make plays and was harder. For us to make plays, and they made a few more from that deal. But our, the way our kids came out and fought in the second half and played and executed and did things complementary to give ourselves a chance with 8 minutes to go, was really good. I'm looking to build on that for this week.
Well, I think it might be a little out of frame, but you got the Mayor's Cup trophy right over your shoulder there. So just going through this week, it's the yearly rivalry game that the players get up for, but how fired up were you when you get to see that behind you? And it's been in your office for a couple of years now.
Yeah, I mean, this is, again, like we talk to the kids all the time. This is, they have the opportunity to play in to me, it's not just a rivalry game, it's a special rivalry game, it's a unique rivalry game, because there's not many schools across the country. Geographically, there's a few that are closer than we are, and are 3 blocks apart. But the way the community is kind of intertwined between the two schools, to me adds a layer of a rivalry that maybe even schools that are closer in proximity don't have, because there's just maybe 2 different types of institutions. We're very similar institutions. There's a lot of crossover within families, in the NEPA region, where they have Wilkes and Kings ties, and the community's intertwined, between the 2 schools, and then they come out and battle for 60 minutes to play for a Mayor's Cup trophy. To me, makes this a very special, unique rivalry. That our kids, we want them to embrace it and enjoy it. They get 4 opportunities to participate in it and make the most of that game. So to us, it's a very special rivalry.
And in recent years, Kings has made the most of it. So whether it's this week or in past seasons, have you seen just a little bit of uptick and just excitement when this week comes compared to the other game weeks of the season?
I mean, a little bit, because a lot of times when you play at the end, there comes the biggest game. Like we try to keep it even keel, and you got to worry about your next opponent, all the typical coach speak stuff. But they're the things that you really need to do. You can't look far ahead, so we don't really mention anything until we get to this week. And then again, it's the last game, and then sometimes there's some scenarios. But the scenarios don't come or have any chance to come to fruition if you don't win this game. So you're able to, ratchet that up a little bit, and then our kids understand when, they, we kind of harken back on when they had rivalries in high school, and some of them played in some big rivalries, and the feelings they had for that, and that's kind of the feelings they get for there. And then the longer, the older guys get it because they've been here a while, and they become intertwined with Kings, and they understand the community and the relationships of the 2 schools, so it becomes like, their rivalry as well. And then they introduce that to the freshmen, understand, but the freshmen were, just talking on, hey, remember last year, your big rivalry game, this is similar, if not, bigger than that. And then, how excited you were to play your rival and the opportunity to beat your rival. So the freshmen, are able to buy into that. And, and it's been a good season for us. Kids have been doing a great job. They work really hard. It's a close-knit group, a good group. So every week they've been excited about, the opportunity it presents themselves. So it's kind of in that same, there. And then a little bit more, obviously, because, again, it is, the last game, and it is our rival.
Yeah, and even last week you guys fell behind a little bit and kept fighting back. So what kind of character have you seen in this team throughout the season as starting to wind down here?
Yeah, Trent, I mean, they're all, they've always been resilient. I mean, this team's a resilient, team, kind of like our program every year, and that's been passed on from past, classes have passed on that resiliency. They just, we talk about keep fighting till there's all zeros, that's when the score, officially matters. It doesn't matter till that point. So our kids, have done that. And the thing, they've kind of learned, as things in the past of past games, how to improve and help them in the next game. And some of the things that we struggled with, was starting the second half, well, and then, to get back in the Widener game, we were going to have to do that. And then our kids understood that. learn from the past when maybe we didn't start the second half the way we wanted to, and then they came out there and and started from there, and then our defense fed off of that, and we got a big play in the kick game with a block punt. And got ourselves back in the football game. So, it's a culture where our kids have close knit and work well together, respect each other, trust each other. And then they just work hard, and then they try to help each side of the ball out, by doing their job. That knows that they get it off the field or stay on the field or score. It's going to help the defense out, the kick game, the offense out. So it's been good to see all season.
And seeing the success they've had over the last 3-4 years, is there anything you're going to remember most about this group of seniors that are about to play their last regular?
They're going to leave here no matter what happens with Saturday, with having never lost more than they won. And hopefully we can get, with them a winning record from that standpoint. But that's a huge deal. And then they've been able to work with as they were in the class with the classes there, to kind of build that, as you go from a rebuild to build it up to where you can be competitive, then you're relevant, and now you try to be excellent. This class is a huge cog in that machine of taking us from relevant to possibly excellent, and then their 4 years, they never had a losing season from that deal, and then they could become the first class in the history of King's College to win 4 Mayor's Cups in a row. It's never been done before, so that's a huge personal mark on their legacy. That our kids are aware of, and going to do everything they can. We ask every kid to just do the best you can on this week preparing, and then you do your best on Saturday to try to let our seniors, be able to have 4 Mayor's Cups and do something that's never been done here at Kings.
And one of those seniors, Jordan Downs, he's been just a workhorse in terms of total offense. So how much are you going to kind of cherish calling his number a few more times?
Yeah, it's going to be, obviously it's bittersweet because, this is his last game and it's done, and he's meant so much to the program, and then to see him just evolve from as a freshman to now to be one of the best running backs, in the country. Is very gratifying to see. It's a great job by him, by the coaches that just help him reach his talent, his potential. So as the clock starts to tick down, you realize we can't hand the ball to 3 anymore. You got to find, that's what they also find new ways to move the football. But he's been a huge part of our offense, and he's accepted every role we've asked him to play in our program. So it'll be great, for him to go out and again, he's going to give an A+ effort to everything he can to play his best and help us play our best, and look forward to watching him one last time.
Season in general, are you happy with the way the defense has stepped up and kind of created havoc at times? You have Jared Horn and Michael Butler leading the way in interceptions. How important have they been to just changing the field position battle with the defense this season? Yeah,
I thought our defense, from a statistical measures and those kind of things, and the dominating thing of they've taken a huge jump forward. Like our defense, has been dominant. At a lot of times in this season from there, and the takeaways, and that's been great. Those guys at secondary, again, just seeing guys that have been playing for a long period of time, and each year get better and better. And Horn and Butler, both those guys, and then be productive. And their this season has been huge from there, and then other guys get that point, and then our defense, embracing the third down and getting off the field. We've had great third down percentages the last few years from there, and stopping the run and doing things that if you're going to go from building to relevant to excellence, you have to have good, play really, really good defense. And then to see our kids taking those steps is very, gratifying to see. Knowing that we have a lot of those guys back, the future to build on that from there. But, see guys are making plays, and now this year making even more plays is really good to see. And that's obviously a sign our defense is going the right direction.
And seeing the way that they're playing, what kind of challenge are they about to run into with the Wilkes' offense here?
A huge one. Again, where's Jose? You know what I'm saying? It revolves around that young man. He's tremendously talented, immensely gifted, and he's got it. Like when people talk about quarterbacks, they just have it, can't describe what it is. Like he's got it. Like his teammates rally around him, believe in him, and you can see that. And they know with the ball in his hand, they have a chance to overcome any obstacles, any scenarios. The defense knows if we get the ball back to Jose, he's got a shot to win it for us. And he can do things with his feet, his arm. So we just got to make sure, we do all our jobs. Can't all be 11 guys running about, 5. But we got to figure out, everyone do their job and just try to keep him and not let him have free reign. Because if he has free reign, he's going to create chaos, and good things for them. If we kind of keep him bottled up, then we have a shot. And that's the key there. Because again, they're running the ball well. 6, he's a hard runner. He's got speed. Their line is physical. So they have some balance. It's just not him, but he just has that ability, that playmaking ability that he can do things that, no one else on the field can do. And if you allow them to do that in a rivalry game and make a big play, then that just jacks up the momentum and excitement on one side. So we got to kind of try to, know where Jose is and try not to, mitigate the damage that he can do.
Each year, does it seem like he adds something different when you're trying to prepare for Wilkes and you see Jose on tape?
Yeah, and it's the third time because unfortunately got injured, so I don't know if it's another year or not. But yeah, you kind of like, it's, good, those guys are the great players, are great for the league, but you're happy when they eventually can graduate and move on. But yeah, every year you just see him, take command of the team. It's his team. As the freshman, he came in and he played outstanding against Stevenson and other teams, and they upset Stevenson that year. And then everything was rolled on him as a freshman. He made some mistakes that he's not making now. And then again, he's just being more damaging, with his feet and his arm and making decisions. He's not necessarily looking to run or hanging the pocket to throw. He's just, you can see the maturity, that comes with, playing as much as he's played, the position that he plays, and now he's in total command of what goes on out there instead of just a great athlete running around. Like he's using his athleticism, within the scheme that they developed from an offensive identity.
And not just him, but seeing how Wilkes has come from the just last 2 years with Coach Draw coming into town. What kind of turnaround have you seen from them, and what's made?
Yeah, I mean, defensively again, they're playing well. I mean, they run the ball well. Their D line, is physical. They get off the ball. They're strong. They do a good job. With their twist game and creating havoc and trying to reestablish a line of scrimmage behind, which is good because then they got the linebackers. The Moyer kid, 34. I mean, he finds a way to find the ball. I mean, you look at what makes a good linebacker. They're always usually good at stopping the run because that's kind of what they're born to do. But then the ones that really elevate from good to great are they can defend in the pass game, and that kid can do that. He's had a couple of big picks for him, this season, and he understands how to play, the pass as well as the run, and that feeds off with the other guys in there. And then in the secondary, they're sound in their coverages and their techniques, so their defense is elevated there. And then the kick game, like they do a really good job of covering kicks. And getting down there and punting the ball well and kind of winning that hidden yardage as you look at it. I know they've, Albright has a really good kick return. They got 2 against them. That's kind of more of an anomaly, from there because generally you see those guys flying down and they're pinning people deep. So we have to be on point with the kick game because they're definitely they're sound and solid and understand the value of the kick game. And I think their defense is playing well and that helps their offense play well.
So finally, like you said, you're looking for a 4th straight Mayor's Cup and to have a 500 or better season for the senior class all the way through. Wilkes is trying to settle into a number 2 seed in the Bowl Series. So with these 2 teams trying to accomplish some first for the programs, what do you think fans are going to expect to see when they collide on Saturday? I
mean, a typical Mayor's Cup game. I think last year was a little bit more of an anomaly in that we had a couple turnovers and defensive scores. That kind of blew a tight game open that was tight at the half from there. But in my previous 8 games, no matter what our records were, and especially in the beginning when we were rebuilding and our record wasn't all that great, the games were really close and really good, and it kind of comes down to someone making a play or taking advantage of a mistake, from that aspect to win the game. So imagine you're going to see that, and maybe even more so. And like we always talk about, this is maybe last year was a lot to play for in the game, as both our records were around 500, and this year step above. Again, so 2 teams coming in with good seasons just adds to the rivalry and adds to the game that's going to be a really well played game and not just a rivalry game through the records. The way they're going to have 2 good teams that are executing in all 3 phases well. So they should see a really good well played Division III football game. That's a huge rivalry that intertwines the community that has a lot to play for and help whoever wins. Like I said, there's a lot of firsts to be had on both sides of the line of scrimmage, and that'll be huge to help the programs build their programs and move them forward in the future. So it should be a classic, a great D3 rivalry, another great Mayor's Cup game.
Well, we appreciate Eric Schultz being with us today. I think you covered pretty much everything I would ask today, so I don't really need to do much. But we appreciate everyone tuning in all season long to our Coach's Corner here with head coach Jeff Knarr every Thursday at 11 o'clock. And Coach, again, we appreciate your time as you prepare for Wilkes this weekend, and we'll catch up with you on Saturday after the Mayor's Cup.
All right, thank you.